welcome Trinidad and Tobago to our News 4 report, a product of the Government Information Services Limited and the Ministry of Communications. I am Nikolai Edwards. Let's take a look at the headlines. TNT sends urgent supplies to St. Lucia. PM vows this country support and assist them to our CARICOM neighbours. And in sport, Live Sport program continues to support meaningful partnerships. The people of St. Lucia have received a shipment of goods that is expected to help them through this devastation brought on by floods on the island. Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar has vowed this country's support in rendering aid to our CARICOM neighbours affected by the recent severe weather. Christmas 2013 has definitely tested the resilience of the St. Lucian people. This after a natural disaster ravaged parts of St. Lucia. On December 24, 2013, St. Lucians lived through what could be considered a nightmare before Christmas. Severe rains and high winds generated by an unseasonal low-level drought system impacted not only St. Lucia but other Eastern Caribbean islands, including Dominica and St. Vincent and the Grenadines, over a 24-hour period from Christmas Eve to Christmas Day. Reports indicate that there have been 8 confirmed deaths in St. Vincent and at least 4 deaths in St. Lucia. Upon learning of this tragedy, Prime Minister the Honourable Kamla Persad-Bissessar SC felt compelled to lend support to our CARICOM neighbours and called upon the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Management to assist in meeting the needs of the affected St. Lucian population.
We got the call from the Honourable Prime Minister and our Minister of National Security last night, somewhere around 9:30-10.
It did not take long for the ODPM to mobilise and make contact with their St. Lucian counterparts and Deputy Prime Minister, the Honourable Philip J. Pierre, who expressed the need for particular items. These include canned goods, biscuits, infant formula, water, mattresses, blankets, and hygiene, disaster and first aid kits. On December 26th, these items were prepared and ready to leave Trinidad and Tobago bound for St. Lucia. The first load that was sent was water.
Our aircraft here, the C-26, will take about 40 cases, and it will take an hour and a half, perhaps to 2 hours, for the mission to be completed up there. That's the main need that they have, as houses have been destroyed, and drinkable or potable water is the main requirement that they have.
He confirmed that this would be a continuous effort over the hours and days that would follow.
This operation is under the direct authority of the Prime Minister, who has directed that we will supply aid for those in need up the islands. And so this is the start or the first load, which will be followed by a full supply of all the requirements: bedding, dry foods, and more water.
After the aircraft was loaded, Dr. Ramroop, Rear Admiral Kelshall, and ODPM and National Operations Centre Liaise Officer Captain Nevin Wint boarded a helicopter bound for St. Lucia. The turbulent 1.5-hour flight provided an up-close and personal look at the dark clouds over the Caribbean. However, it was not enough to hinder the mission in any way, as the island emerged up ahead in all its beauty. The helicopter landed around 4:45 p.m. and the passengers were met by the island's Deputy Prime Minister and the Minister for Public Service, Sustainable Development, Energy and Science and Technology, who received the first tranche of relief items.
The inquiries have come, but Trinidad has responded. I just spoke last night, and then we had today. It was very quick. We're very appreciative of that. Trinidad responded. Trinidad has ensured that the spirit of regionalism is alive and kicking, and it comes straight after a visit to South Africa that I did with your Prime Minister, when we went to the funeral, the memorial service for President Mandela. So it shows that Trinidad is a CARICOM sister, and a helpful one at that.
There's no good time for a storm, but particularly on Christmas Eve, it really has caught us at a time when, at the end of the hurricane season, when I think a storm of this magnitude is the last thing that St. Lucians were expecting. As far as its impact on infrastructure, that's also been quite significant. Our road network, both along the west coast and the east coast, has taken a battering. We've lost some bridges. We've also had some damaged culverts, and some of our bridges, even those that were not damaged, are a little compromised. Our water infrastructure, and water is an area that falls within my portfolio, has been very heavily affected. I think we're just in the process of restoring water in some communities because many of our pipes were washed away. In Viewfort, for example, in the south of the island, a pumping station was completely washed out. So the Water and Sewage Company has been gradually bringing people back online. We hope that most of the north will actually be brought back online, if not tonight, by early tomorrow.
The Program and Development Officer of the National Emergency Management Organization said the St. Lucian people are a resilient bunch, and he was sure that soon the country would return to business as usual, as it was already showing signs of this.
We will bounce back as a nation, as a country together. So we, with our fellow Caribbean countries, we know we will bounce back, and we will build back better, and we will be back on our feet as soon as possible.
It is said that the event brought people together in an effort to assist their fellow countrymen through this difficult time.
The death toll would have been much more had it not been for the bravery exhibited by some St. Lucians. One of our police officers actually died trying to save someone. A wall collapsed on him. But you know, when you go around and you hear some of the acts of heroism that took place, people braving some serious raging waters and putting their own life at stake to try to rescue people, that has been tremendous.
Even as dark clouds continue to harbor over the island, the resilience of the people of St. Lucia continue to shine through, with acts of kindness and camaraderie bearing witness to the true meaning of Christmas. The Honourable Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar, as Chair of CARICOM and Lead Prime Minister on Security in the region, spoke with St. Vincent and the Grenadines Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves today on the present situation in St. Vincent and the Grenadines following the aftermath of the Christmas Eve floods. She vowed this country's support and assistance in the continuing relief efforts for a CARICOM neighbour.
CARICOM Chair and Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar held discussions with Prime Minister of St. Vincent and the Grenadines Ralph Gonsalves this Friday on providing assistance in cleanup efforts following devastating Christmas floods and rains. Discussions are said to have included talks on damages sustained to key infrastructure in and around the islands, including flooding to the only major hospital, the Milton Cato Memorial Hospital, and to the E.T. Joshua Airport, as well as collapsed roads and bridges around the islands. In speaking with her CARICOM counterpart, she assured Trinidad and Tobago's willingness to assist St. Vincent and the Grenadines with relief efforts and emergency supplies as necessary. An assessment team comprising of Chief Executive Officer of the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Management, or DPM, Dr. Stephen Ramrup, and Rear Admiral Richard Kelshaw, Regional Security Coordinator in the Office of the Prime Minister, will arrive in St. Vincent to ascertain the needs of the islands. Rear Admiral Kelshaw is also scheduled to attend a meeting with Prime Minister Gonsalves following his initial assessment. Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar has also expressed her sympathies for the families who have lost loved ones and those whose homes were destroyed and flooded by the inclement weather. Kimberam Calawan, News 4.
More news after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back. The Ministry of the People and Social Development recently brought good cheer to the lives of citizens across Trinidad and Tobago. The drive, led by Minister Glen Ramadarsingh, was to ensure that a number of families would celebrate Christmas with a level peace of mind and comfort. Christmas is undoubtedly a time of giving and bringing joy to the lives of your fellow countrymen. Even a simple smile or gesture can go a long way in brightening the day of those who you come in contact with. However, the Ministry of the People and Social Development is seeking to ensure that the cupboards of needy citizens are not bare during the Yuletide season, as dozens of hampers were distributed at the Coover Roystonia Community Centre. Minister of the People and Social Development, Dr. the Honourable Glen Ramadarsingh, said the hamper distribution was the third of its kind.
Indeed, the first hamper distribution took place at the Presal Community Centre with the Prime Minister, among several MPs, where we, on that day, we were able to distribute 100 hampers to 41 MPs throughout Trinidad and Tobago. That's 4,100 of the most vulnerable families. And then, of course, we went to Tobago, where we gave hampers to the members of Parliament in Tobago.
Minister Ramadarsingh said at Saturday's hamper distribution, the ministry sought to give hampers to NGOs and groups that have partnered with the ministry so that they could share in the exercise of assisting the poor and needy.
Today, several hundred were distributed, and we feel very pleased that communities throughout Trinidad and Tobago, the most needy families, have something for the Christmas. And we are very thankful for the staff of the Ministry of the People and Social Development who went beyond. My gratitude to them, those who were involved, the army who helped to protect the compound and ensure that there was no chaos, the People's Unit, the URP Social, and all the performers, entertainers, the suppliers of food. We have had a great year when it comes to distributing food support for the needy and vulnerable in society.
Even as many give of themselves unconditionally during the Christmas season, the Ministry of the People and Social Development has proven time and time again that charity is a year-long exercise. Sport is up after the break. In an effort to broaden the avenues for its participants while serving communities nationwide, the Ministry of Sport's Live Sport program has been forming some meaningful partnerships. One such partnership is between the MOVA program and the Lipscomb University men's football team. Wayne Cunningham has more on the genesis of this union.
Lance Williams is a graduate of Lipscomb University in Tennessee, USA, and is now the Regional Manager East for the Ministry of Sport's Live Sport program. He was instrumental in bringing the two entities together for various community projects.
Tell us how the synergy going so far.
All right, since they've been here, it's been great. The team in itself has done a lot of mission work so far. We visited the St. Mary's Children's Home. We also met with some of the guys at the St. Joseph Live Sport program. And today we are here doing renovations and stuff on this house.
All right, well, he's a good man to talk to. You're the regional manager for Live Sport in the East. All right, tell us how the project going so far throughout the different districts in the East.
Well, it's going quite well, as we all know, Live Sport is a new program, so we had little hiccups along the way, but, it's fair for me to say that the program in itself is, we are seeing progress. Things are going well, and, there's still room for improvement, but the direction that we are heading in is one that soon enough the country will be proud to see.
The people in them out there want to know about the participants. You know, well, look, some of them have some shady past and so forth, and they want to know how these young men holding on to this Live Sport program, how you all keeping them in the Live Sport program. That's what the people outside want to know. You probably could help me on that.
All right, well, the initiative was, we know is one from our Minister, the Honorable Mr. Andrew Roberts. The things that I think that are keeping the guys, as you know, the program in itself, we offer a stipend of $1,500 to the guys. I think that is one of the incentives that keeps the guys coming out every day. We also have the sport aspect of the program, which is we have 3 sporting disciplines: football, cricket, basketball. Recently we had like a regional tournament where all the guys from all the regions came together for one day. It was a huge success, incident-free, which I think is something that we should be proud of because, as Trinidadians, we know they are, barriers that, sometimes some fellas can go in the other areas. And it was a pleasure for me, and I think the country on the whole, to see that on this day, all the guys came together, incident-free, and there's a love, and the program in itself is, as I say, heading in the right direction.
Tell me, we're looking forward to 2014 for Live Sport.
I just want us to iron out the little issues that we have. As I said, it is a young program, so you have a little tit in it. Most is financing. I hope that the government, through our Honorable Minister, can continue to push for further financing because it is an expensive venture. But I hope that the program in itself could show that the return on investment, in other words, that we could show that the program, the funds that the government is spending, it is going in the right, we channeling it in the right direction. And I think it is an initiative that can be used to help solve our crime situation that we have right now.
Wayne Cunningham, News 4 Sports.
When we come back, the Prime Minister brings the annual Christmas treat to Mount Hope. Stay with us.
The following is brought to you by the Trinidad and Tobago Securities and Exchange Commission.
Michelle! Long time no see. It's only when I saw you at the Jones house I realized that you knew about this investment opportunity. You got your money as yet?
No, girl, I'm supposed to collect mine today.
Me too. And I intend to reinvest mine because it's better than what the bank is offering.
All right,
okay,
see you later.
Bye. Michelle, why are you looking so worried? What's happening here?
Look, the place to lock up. Paula has been trying to contact Mr. Smith for the past week and cannot get through to his office phone, either his cell phone. Worse yet, it's raining. This is madness.
That's strange because he always answers his phone before the second call. Let me call him and see.
You try. This is ridiculous. What?
Michelle, I'm recording.
Look, Lisa.
Michelle, don't tell me this is some sort of scam, you know. Please.
We know that everyone is looking to make their money stretch further. We all have financial goals to meet, but it is in times like these that con artists thrive. Don't get caught in an investment scam. Follow your ABCs. A. Ask questions and fully understand the investment instrument that you are purchasing. B. Beware of investment fraud. Most fraudsters don't even look like con men. C. Check the TTSEC first. Ensure that both the seller and the product are in fact registered with the Commission. Call 624-2991 or visit www.ttsec.org.tt to learn more. A message from the Trinidad and Tobago Securities and Exchange Commission.
One bite. I want to play.
Oh, you can do that, boy. Oh, you can do that, boy.
Stop the violence and abuse. Stay calm. Start thinking. The Ministry of National Security Citizen Security Program.
Thank you for staying with us. As she continues to spread a good cheer this Christmas season, the Honorable Kamla Persad-Bissessor, Prime Minister of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, is also using the opportunity to encourage parents and guardians to do all they can to protect their children.
Stopping over at the BP Recreational Ground in Mayaro, the Honorable Prime Minister's message to the happy children was for them to remember the reason for the season and continue to emulate Jesus Christ in giving and sharing. To the parents, Mrs. Persad-Bissessor noted that it was their responsibility to put their children first, but she noted that it did not stop there, as every adult citizen is ultimately responsible for every child in their neighborhood or who they come into contact with on a daily basis.
Parents, caregivers, teachers, I ask you very, very seriously, always know where your child is. Always know where your child is. It is your duty first and foremost, your responsibility, parents, teachers, caregivers, to take care and protect our children. So your first duty is to the child. And even if it is a child of someone else, you still have a duty to protect that child, a responsibility. And if each of us takes that responsibility, then we can better protect our beloved children in this land.
Member of Parliament for Mayaro and Minister of Community Development, Winston Peters, welcomed and thanked the Honorable Prime Minister for the gift distribution initiative.
And all the parents, and all the guardians, and all the teachers, we really appreciate the fact that you are here with us this afternoon. And I want to say to you that you are gathered here this afternoon because of one reason. And that one reason is because we have a Prime Minister whose love for the children of Trinidad and Tobago and love for children in general has brought us to this point where she believed that she must deliver to every child in Trinidad and Tobago a toy that they deserve. And so, I think that our Prime Minister needs a lusty round of applause from all the children that are here.
The Prime Minister had said that her government had thus far given out over 50,000 presents. Felicia Wilson-Moore, News 4.
Children at the pediatric wards at the Eric Williams Medical Sciences Complex in Mount Hope had a reason to smile, even if just for a while. Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar brought some cheer and cuddly toys to the many infirm children who were unable to attend her annual Christmas treat.
These children get some joy and a reason to smile. These faces tell the story of pain and suffering, as they are also patients at medical and surgical pediatric wards at the Eric Williams Medical Sciences Complex in Mount Hope. Many of the children at the ward are being treated for cancer and other serious ailments. But in an effort to bring a little seasonal cheer, Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar visited the children's ward and brought along none other than Santa Claus to share some goodies and treats.
I didn't just come to visit, I came to bring you Santa. Where is Santa? And here's Santa. Welcome, Santa.
And while they ought to be outside playing games and at home with their loved ones, these little tykes got some toys to not only keep them company during their stay at the hospital, but give some comfort and joy. Prime Minister Persad-Bissessar says this remained the true reason of the season and why giving was the center of Christmas.
The good Lord gave us His only begotten Son, the Christ child, on Christmas Day. It's His birthday, but it's also at birthday times we give things. And so God gave us the child, Christ, and the man, Jesus Christ. And so at Christmas time we give back.
Local celebrities, renowned batsman Brian Lara and classical singer Naval Chaitlal, along with reigning Miss Trinidad and Tobago Catherine Miller, got into the festive mood together with Health Minister Dr. Fouad Khan to sing a tune or two to wish the kiddies a Merry Christmas.
I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas from the bottom of my heart.
Kimberly Calawan, News 4.
And that's how we wrap up this edition of our News 4 report, a product of the Government Information Services Limited and the Ministry of Communications. I am Nikolai Edwards. Thank you for joining us.